It's Friday. It's the beginning of a new year. It's the end of the first week of the new year. It's as good a time as any to bring this up because I've thought a lot about this. I do not know of a way to pull liberals out of their irrational, emotional fantasy. I do not know a way to reverse course away from the direction that they have set this country on, except to put my boots on every day, come to work every day, talk about things in a way that will appeal to others. You know, I took a lot of heat. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. We don't bring us any closer to national resolve by talking in an echo chamber. The other day, I brought up the issue of abortion. I agreed with Dobbs v. Jackson. I think you did too. I am happy that Roe v. Wade is on the trash heap of history. I think you are too. But when I brought it up the other day, I mentioned that we need to approach this subject in a different fashion than we approached it in 2022. Otherwise, we're going to get our brains beaten in by the Democrats. Because they have emotional high ground on that issue. They mischaracterize it, and they're allowed to do so, and they appeal to middle-aged women, and we lose them at the voting booth. Everything that we do hinges on the vote. Whether it's a local election, whether it's a mayor's election, whether it's a city council, whether it's a state election, a gubernatorial election, or the president of the United States of America, Congress, and the Senate, of course. Everything hinges on getting people that believe in the Constitution in office, that believe in our founding fathers and the manner in which they set this country on its course. Sadly, socialism is so tenacious and patient. Communism is tenacious and patient. And those that want to advance the cause of socialism in this country, people like AOC, Bernie Sanders, and others, they are patient. And they know they have this advantage going for them. And, Jerry, this is to your point. The natural state of government is growth. Government doesn't remain static on its own. It grows. You have to expend effort to prevent growth. And sadly, the Republican Party has not done so. So we have allowed government to grow and grow and grow and ingrain itself into almost every facet of our life. And that consumes a lot of our earning potential. And sadly, it makes the federal government more and more and more a part of our lives to the point that we become dependent on it. They do so in so many different ways, but they will come into a community and they will replace church-based groups. They will replace charitable groups with government funding. And once that government funding is in place, and once those charitable groups, those church-based organizations have been replaced with government-infused mandates, that never goes away. It's another part of the way that government grows and becomes a part of your daily life. Mirror that with these socialists in Washington, D.C. that are regularly repeating and regurgitating that you have to have government do this or that or the other thing. And if you don't have government in this part of your life or that part of your life, who's going to take responsibility for the lesser thans that won't survive? And they, talk about people dying on the streets and blood in the streets and all of these types of things. All of it designed to continue the growth of government and continue to grow their power and control over your everyday life. They want to centralize power and control. We've seen it over and over and over again all around the world. Look at Venezuela. Look at what Argentina has recently done with Javier Milei.
That's a beautiful thing.
That pushback had to happen, but it only happened when they were at the lowest of the low. Their economy was a disaster, and they recognized it as such. You know what? I don't know that we're close to that, but we're getting closer to the people recognizing, and I have hope in 2024. And I know a lot of people say this every time an election comes around. This is the big one. This is the last one. We've got to get this one right. Man, we have to get this one right. If we can't get this one right in this economic situation, it's just going to get worse. And when the economy gets worse, does the government recognize the error of its ways and pull back from your life and allow the free market to take over and resolve the situation? Of course not. The liberal Democrats step in and say, ooh, the economy's bad because we've not done enough. Let's tax people more. Let's burden people more. Let's take over more means of production. And on and on and on it goes until the entire system collapses. And sadly, what we've seen in other countries when this happens is that a lot of people die. A lot of people die until the general population wakes up to the misdirection that's been going on under their very noses. The Javier Milei story is a beautiful story. You know, if you don't know anything about the new Argentine president, please look him up. Javier Milei, Milei. Did you see one of the provisions? He's got an omnibus package of bills going before a special session of the Argentine legislature. And one of the bills, I want to say it's section, this is off the top of my head, 209. I believe that's right. Where he is making it illegal to refer to any government service as free.
Yeah, I did see that.
It is a brilliant psychological strategy that has been implemented for generations by the political left, that they refer to these things as free. Free money, free money, free money. That's where I came up with it. Anytime we bring up a government service that is quote unquote free, free money, free money, free money. It's never free money. What are you talking about? You don't just make this. If it was free money, the money would have no value. It has to be backed by someone's work product in order for it to have value. And that's your work and my work.
And if you get to that point where the discussion on where the money's going to come from does happen, they just go, I'll tax the rich. They don't pay their fair share, even though the 1% pays 43% of the income tax.
So, yes, you're right. I'm sorry, I got distracted for a moment. I had Phil ask him, what the hell are you thinking? That music sucks. Well, that's the, thank you, Bell. You've already answered him. That's the point. Of course it sucks. We're celebrating something wonderful with something terrible. That's the entire point. America is something wonderful, and it is soon to become something terrible. And I did not mean to get into a philosophical discussion or a deep thought discussion about where all of this goes. But I don't know. We have become alcoholics. All of us have become alcoholics. And in order for alcoholics to see the error of their ways, they have to hit rock bottom. We are not, believe it or not, we're not close to rock bottom yet. So you have to change hearts and minds. The point I was trying to make at the beginning of this, the reason I brought up the abortion example, I understand how strongly convicted so many of us are on the issue of abortion, which is why it's a great example. But others don't think as you do on it. And you cannot win that argument through anger and through meanness. And you never will. Until we resolve ourselves to win that argument through logic and reason and understanding and love and compassion. And it's not just about that topic, it's about all of them. I do not blame the young skulls of mush for being what they are. We helped create them. I do not blame the 30-some-odd million illegal aliens, by and large, for what they have done. We've allowed it. And if you don't believe that all of us are corrupted in some form or fashion with regard to how much we've allowed government to creep into our lives, why is it, and this is a third rail, baby, watch out now, here it comes, press play and record. Why is it that every time a natural disaster happens, we sit around and wait on the federal government to stop by? Oh, everyone is just, we now take it on face value that it's the role of the federal government to make us whole again? because of a natural disaster? That is not the role of the federal government, friend. Yet, we act as if it's an expectation now, because that's the way socialism works. That's the way dependence on government works. And it doesn't come free. I'm excited about Milei. I am, down in Argentina. I'm excited about what he's doing to try to change the basic mindset of his people. And he has told them they're going to go through troubles. They're going to go through a lot of trials. It's going to get worse before it gets better. It is a hell of a thing to have to tell the American people to eat their peas, that it can't just be ice cream and cake. But that's what we have to do in order to get us back right again, in order to become that shining city on a hill again.